The stars twinkled peacefully in the night sky above Earth, hiding the truth the humans were being watched. For over 50 years, the Galactic Council had observed Earth from hidden ships and satellites. They saw humans as primitive, violent creatures who fought endless wars over land, resources, and beliefs. "These humans are not ready to join us," said High Commander Toll during a council meeting. "They will serve better as a resource planet." The council ruled over 300 worlds across the galaxy. Some joined willingly, while others were conquered. Earth was meant to be the next conquest. The council believed humans would surrender quickly once they saw the advanced alien technology. On a quiet Tuesday morning, the council finally revealed themselves. Massive ships appeared over major cities around the world. Their metallic hulls reflected sunlight as they hovered silently above New York, Beijing, London, Moscow, and other capitals. People panicked. Traffic stopped. News channels broadcast nothing else. Military jets scrambled but kept their distance from the enormous vessels. Admiral James Walker sat calmly in the Pentagon's command center as reports flooded in. Unlike the panicking world leaders calling him, Walker didn't seem surprised. "Sir, what are your orders?" asked his assistant, looking at the screens showing the alien ships. Walker picked up the secure phone. "Activate Protocol Sleeping Giant," he said quietly. Across the globe, hidden bunkers came to life. Secret facilities that even most governments didn't know about powered up systems that had been waiting for this day. The largest alien ship broadcast a message to all electronic devices on Earth. The face that appeared looked almost human, but with gray skin and entirely black eyes. "People of Earth, I am Ambassador Vox of the Galactic Council. Your planet is now under our protection and authority. Your leaders will surrender control to our representatives within 24 hours. Resistance is not advised. We have observed your violent tendencies and will respond accordingly to any hostility." World leaders gathered in an emergency United Nations session. Many wanted to surrender immediately, fearing destruction. Others demanded they fight back with nuclear weapons. In the middle of this chaos, Admiral Walker entered the room. The arguing stopped as he walked to the podium. "The United States and allied nations will handle this situation," he announced. "We ask all countries to remain calm and take no military action." "What can you possibly do against ships that size?" demanded the Russian representative. Walker simply smiled. "We've been preparing for this day for a very long time." Meanwhile, at a hidden base beneath the Rocky Mountains, Captain Lisa Reed activated Earth's True Defense Network. For decades, a secret global organization had detected alien surveillance and developed countermeasures without the aliens noticing. "All systems online," she reported to Walker. "Shields at full capacity. Mars base confirms they are ready to deploy." The Council ships sent another message, growing impatient with Earth's lack of formal surrender. Ambassador Vox appeared again, his black eyes narrowed. "Your time is running out. Submit or face the consequences." Walker finally responded to the aliens directly. His face appeared on screens in all the Council ships. "Ambassador Vox, Earth respectfully declines your offer of protection. We have observed your council for decades as well. We know what you've done to other worlds. We suggest you depart peacefully." Vox laughed. "You have no weapons that can harm our ships. This defiance will cost your people dearly." The Council ships positioned weapons, preparing to demonstrate their power by destroying small, uninhabited areas as a warning. But when they fired, something unexpected happened. Their energy beams hit an invisible barrier around Earth and dispersed harmlessly. In the Council's command ship, Vox stared in disbelief at the readings. "Impossible," he whispered. "They're not supposed to have this technology." Admiral Walker's voice came through their communication system again. "As I said, we've been preparing. This is your final warning to leave Earth space." The Galactic Council had made a terrible mistake. The sleeping giant was now wide awake. The Galactic Council ships hovered in Earth's orbit, their weapons systems completely ineffective against the planetary shield. Ambassador Vox could not believe what he was seeing. The data must be wrong. Run another scan of their defense system, he ordered his science officer. The officer's fingers moved quickly across the control panel. Sir, these readings don't make sense. Their shield technology appears to be at least level 8, possibly level 9. That's more advanced than even our core worlds have. Vox slammed his fist on the command chair. Impossible. Our intelligence showed they barely achieved basic space travel. They're still burning fossil fuels on most of their planet. On the main screen, Admiral Walker's face appeared again. The human looked calm, almost amused. Ambassador Vox, we understood long ago that your council was watching us. Did you really believe we wouldn't notice your observation satellites and stealth ships? We simply let you see what we wanted you to see. The truth dawned on Vox like a cold wave. It was all fake. A deception. Walker nodded. Not all of it. We do fight among ourselves. We are divided in many ways. But we united where it mattered, in preparing for threats from beyond our world. In the Council's flagship, panic was spreading. Their sensors now detected massive energy readings from behind Earth's moon and from Mars. How had they missed this? Captain Lisa Reed stood in the command center of Moonbase Alpha, Earth's hidden military headquarters. Around her, officers monitored the alien fleet's every move. The base had been built 20 years ago, carefully hidden from the Council's observation. They're scanning the moon now, reported a young officer. They've finally noticed us. Reed smiled. A bit late, don't you think? Launch the Mars fleet. On the red planet, massive hangar doors opened in what the Council had believed were natural formations. Commander Alex Torres gave the order, and Earth's secret space fleet launched. 300 ships, built in underground facilities and tested only in the shadow of Mars, now headed toward Earth. The Council's flagship detected the approaching fleet. Sir, we have multiple vessels approaching from Mars, reported the tactical officer, voice shaking. Their technology. It's not primitive at all. Their ships have quantum shielding and gravitic drives, some designs we've never even seen before. Ambassador Vox could hardly process what was happening. The Council had completely misjudged Earth. What else had they missed? Open communication with their fleet, Vox ordered. Commander Torres appeared on screen, her space fleet behind her. This is Commander Alex Torres of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered restricted space and threatened our world with violence. You have two options. Leave immediately or surrender your vessels for inspection. Surrender. Vox was outraged. The Galactic Council does not surrender to primitive worlds. In response, Torres pressed a button. Immediately, every weapon system on the Council ships went offline. Their engines remained functional, but nothing else worked. What just happened? Demanded Vox. His engineer looked up in shock. They deployed some kind of quantum tunneling missile. It passed right through our shields and released a pulse that disabled our weapons. But it carefully avoided damaging life support or engines. Vox realized the significance. Earth could have destroyed them completely, but chose not to kill. They had shown more mercy than the Council had planned to show Earth. In the Pentagon, Admiral Walker received confirmation that all Council ships were neutralized. Now they understand, he said to his staff. We could have destroyed them, but that's not our way. Unlike the Council, we don't conquer for the sake of conquest. Around the world, people watched in amazement as the news spread. The alien invasion had been stopped. Earth's secret defenders had protected them. And the greatest shock of all, humans possess technology far beyond what anyone had imagined. The Galactic Council's perfect record of conquests had just been broken by the planet they had most underestimated. Commander Alex Torres stood on the bridge of the EDS Defender, Earth's flagship, as it approached the disabled Council vessels. The massive alien ships now drifted helplessly, their weapons offline but life support systems still running. Earth's counterattack had been swift and precise. Open a channel to all Council ships, Torres ordered. Her communications officer nodded. Channel open, Commander. Torres spoke clearly and confidently. "This is Commander Torres of Earth's Defense Fleet. Your ships are disabled but not destroyed. We could have eliminated your entire fleet, but unlike the Council, we do not believe in unnecessary bloodshed." On the Council flagship, Ambassador Vox received the message with growing anger and fear. How had these humans managed this? The Council had conquered dozens of worlds, some far more advanced than Earth appeared to be. It made no sense. "Sir," his second-in-command whispered, "the other Council members are demanding updates. What should I tell them?" Vox's face darkened. "Tell them nothing yet. We need to understand what we're dealing with." Back on Earth, Admiral Walker coordinated the next phase of Earth's response. In a secure underground facility, he met with Captain Lisa Reed and the newly formed Earth Response Team. "The Council believes they're dealing with just one planet," Walker said, looking at the star map displayed on the wall. "It's time they learned the truth." Reed nodded. "The colony ships are ready. They're waiting for your signal." Walker pressed a button on the console. "All colony ships. This is Admiral Walker. Operation Reveal is now active. Show yourselves." Across the solar system and beyond, hidden human settlements suddenly powered up their communication systems. In the asteroid belt, beneath the ice of Europa, in the clouds of Venus, and on 7 planets outside the solar system, human colonies revealed themselves. Each one sent signals that the Council ships could detect. On Vox's vessel, alarms blared as new signals appeared on their scanners. "Sir," exclaimed the science officer, "we're detecting human settlements throughout this system and beyond. They've established colonies on at least 7 planets in neighboring systems." Vox sank into his chair. "How did we miss this? Our surveillance has watched Earth for decades. They must have developed faster than light travel at least 30 years ago," the science officer said, reviewing the data. "And they kept it hidden from us completely." Torres' fleet surrounded the Council ships, maintaining a safe distance, but clearly in control of the situation. Small Earth vessels approached each alien ship, attaching devices to their hulls. "What are they doing?" Vox demanded, watching the screens. His security officer analyzed the readings. "They're installing some kind of translation devices. They want to speak with our crews directly, bypassing our communication systems." Minutes later, every alien aboard the Council ships heard Commander Torres's voice in their native languages. "Crew members of the Galactic Council vessels, I am Commander Alex Torres of Earth. Your leaders attempted to conquer our world based on false information and arrogance. They have failed. But we do not hold you responsible for their actions." Torres paused before continuing. "In 12 hours, we will restore partial power to your ships, enough to return to Council space. You will carry our message. Earth is not alone, and not defenseless. We have established colonies beyond your knowledge and developed technologies you cannot counter." The message sent ripples of shock through the alien crews. Many had believed they were part of a peacekeeping force, not an invasion fleet. The truth was devastating. In the Council flagship, several officers approached Vox. "Ambassador, we were told Earth was primitive and dangerous. That we were protecting the galaxy by controlling them," said one officer. "You lie to us." Vox backed away. "The Council made its decision based on the information we had." "False information," said another officer. "These humans could have destroyed us, but chose mercy instead. Who are the truly dangerous ones here?" As Earth's ships maintained their positions, the balance of power in the galaxy had shifted dramatically. The Council's reputation for invincibility was shattered, and humanity's counterattack had only just begun. News of Earth's victory spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. The Council's failure to conquer what they had described as a primitive world sent shockwaves through hundreds of planets. For the first time in over 1,000 years, the Galactic Council faced a serious challenge to their authority. On the Council homeworld of Proxima, an emergency session was called. Representatives from all 53 major Council species gathered in the Great Hall, their voices raised in anger and fear. How could this happen? Demanded the Voltan representative, his blue skin darkening with rage. You promised Earth would fall in a day. High Counselor Mex, the most senior council leader, raised his hands for silence. We clearly had incomplete information about Earth's capabilities, but this changes nothing. We will simply gather a larger force and... The chamber doors swung open. Every council member turned to see a single human walking confidently into the center of the hall. He wore a simple black suit with a small Earth emblem on his collar. My name is Director Marcus Lang, Earth's diplomatic representative, he announced calmly. I'm here to save you the trouble of planning another failed invasion. Guards moved to seize him, but Lang pressed a small device on his wrist. Immediately, every weapon in the room powered down. The guard stopped, confused. How did you even get to Proxima? Asked High Counselor Mex. It's 3 light years from Earth, and your ships were just detected days ago. Lang smiled. We've had faster-than-light technology for nearly 40 years. While you watched our rocket launches and space stations, our real advancements remained hidden. We have colonies in 23 star systems now, 3 of which border your territory. The chamber erupted in chaos. The Galactic Council had built its power on technological superiority over lesser species. If humans had achieved this level of advancement in secret, what else might they have accomplished? The representative from Teller, a small world on the outer edge of Council space, stood up. My people joined the Council for protection. But if you couldn't even properly assess Earth's capabilities, how can we trust you to protect us? Other representatives began nodding and murmuring in agreement. We should hear what Earth wants, suggested the Ardalan representative. Perhaps negotiation is wiser than conflict. High Counselor Mex slammed his fist on the table. This is outrageous. We do not negotiate with new species. They join us, or they are conquered. Director Lang walked to the center of the chamber. Let me be clear about Earth's position. We have no interest in conquering anyone, but we will not be conquered either. We've observed the Council for decades, watching how you treat lesser species, how you strip their worlds of resources while claiming to protect them. He activated a small projector that displayed images of devastated planets and exploited peoples. These are worlds protected by the Council, their resources taken, their people forced to work in terrible conditions. This is not the way of advanced civilizations. This is imperialism, and humanity rejected that path long ago. The chamber grew quiet as council members viewed the evidence. Many had never seen the reality of what happened on conquered worlds. The Teller representative stood again. Teller withdraws from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. We seek peaceful relations with Earth. One by one, other representatives began to stand. 6 species declared their withdrawal from the Council in that single session. The mighty alliance that had ruled the galaxy for a millennium was fracturing before everyone's eyes. High Counselor Mex's voice shook with fury. You cannot do this. The Council's authority is absolute. Not anymore, Lang replied. Earth extends an offer of alliance to any world that wishes to join us in building a more just galactic community, one based on cooperation, not domination. As Director Lang left the chamber, 12 more representatives followed him, ignoring Mex's orders to return. The Council was losing control, and Earth's influence was spreading like wildfire across the stars. On Earth, Admiral Walker received Lang's message, Phase 4 complete. The Council is fracturing. The galaxy is changing faster than we anticipated. Walker nodded in satisfaction. Earth's retaliation continued to stun the Galactic Council at every turn. Professor Diana Wilson moved carefully through the abandoned Council ship. The massive vessel had been left behind when the alien fleet retreated, its systems damaged beyond repair. As Earth's leading xenorchaeologist, she had been given the important job of uncovering the Council's true motives. Professor, you need to see this, called her assistant, Tom, from a nearby room. Diana followed his voice to what appeared to be the ship's main data center. We've cracked their security. The files are translating now, Tom said, pointing to screens where alien symbols shifted into English. Diana leaned forward, her eyes widening as she read. This changes everything. The files revealed the real reason the Council had targeted Earth. It wasn't about preventing a potentially dangerous species from spreading into space. It was about something much more valuable. Rare elements found in abundance on Earth that were critical for the Council's immortality treatments. They call it Vitalis, Diana said, reading from the screen. Apparently, it's a combination of rare Earth elements that exists naturally on our planet. According to this, Council elites use it in treatments that extend their lives by hundreds of years. Tom looked shocked. They tried to conquer us for a fountain of youth. Not just us, Diana replied grimly. She pulled up more files showing dozens of planets the Council had conquered over centuries. Each world had been systematically stripped of resources under the guise of protective conquest. Back at Earth Defense Headquarters, Admiral Walker and the planetary leadership reviewed Diana's findings with growing anger. "They've done this to 17 worlds before us," Walker said, studying the reports. Each time, they claimed they were preventing dangerous species from reaching space. In reality, they were harvesting these planets for resources that only benefit Council elites. Captain Reed shook her head in disgust. And the ordinary citizens of Council worlds don't know this. According to these files, no, said Diana. Most Council species believe they're part of a benevolent organization that maintains peace. Only the highest levels know the truth. Director Lang, who had returned from Proxima, stood up. "We need to share this information with the entire galaxy, especially those worlds that are still loyal to the Council." Within hours, Earth ships began broadcasting the truth to every inhabited world in Council space. They transmitted recordings of Council planning sessions that revealed their contempt for lesser species and their true motives for conquest. On the Council homeworld, riots broke out as ordinary citizens learned how their leaders had lied to them. The Council tried to block the transmissions, claiming they were human fabrications, but the evidence was too clear, too detailed to deny. In her lab, Professor Wilson made another discovery as she studied the Council's biological database. "They've been hiding something else," she told Walker when she called him. "The Vitalis treatments don't just extend life. They're necessary for Council leaders to survive. They've become dependent on them after centuries of use." Walker understood immediately. So they're not just greedy, they're desperate. If Earth had fallen, we would have been their new supply source. "Yes, but there's more," Wilson continued. "These treatments are becoming less effective. They need more and more Vitalis to maintain the same results. At current consumption rates, their existing supplies will be gone within a decade." This explained the Council's increasingly aggressive expansion in recent years. They weren't just building an empire, they were frantically searching for new sources of the elements they needed to survive. Earth now held powerful leverage. With the truth exposed, many Council worlds severed ties with their leadership. 17 former conquered planets declared independence, looking to Earth for protection against Council retaliation. The Galactic Council, once the undisputed power in the galaxy, now faced rebellion from within and isolation from without. Their carefully constructed system of exploitation was crumbling, all because they had underestimated one planet's determination to remain free. As Walker shared this news with world leaders, he summed up the situation simply: "They came to conquer us for our resources. Instead, they've lost the foundation of their power: secrecy and lies." Earth's retaliation wasn't just military, it was the truth. 6 months after the failed invasion of Earth, the galaxy was transformed. The once mighty Galactic Council controlled only a fraction of its former territory. Over 30 worlds had declared independence, while another 25 had joined what humans called the Galactic Cooperative, a new system of governance based on mutual respect rather than technological hierarchy. Admiral Walker stood at the window of the newly constructed cooperative headquarters, built in orbit around Earth. Ships from dozens of worlds moved peacefully through space, a sight unimaginable just months earlier. "Admiral, they're ready for you," said his aide. Walker nodded and entered the main chamber where representatives from 42 species waited. Some looked almost human, while others were completely alien in form, yet all shared a common purpose: building a better galaxy. "Friends," Walker began, "today marks a new chapter in galactic history. Earth proposes a formal alliance based not on conquest or resource exploitation, but on cooperation and mutual benefit." The representative from Teller, whose people had been among the first to break from the Council, spoke up. "Earth has proven its technological capabilities. You could have conquered many worlds, including those still loyal to the Council. Why choose a different path?" Walker smiled. "Because history has taught us that empires built on fear eventually fall. True advancement comes when diverse minds work together freely." Captain Lisa Reed stepped forward, carrying a small device. "Earth would like to share something with our new allies. Our scientists have made a breakthrough that renders the Council's vitalist treatments obsolete." Murmurs spread through the chamber. The immortality treatments have been the Council's most closely guarded secret, available only to the highest elites. "This technology transfers consciousness between biological and synthetic forms," Reed explained, activating a holographic display. "It offers not just extended life, but true freedom from biological limitations. And unlike Vitalis, it requires no rare resources and can be made available to all citizens, not just elites." The alien representatives stared in amazement. This technology would change everything. "How is this possible?" asked the Ardalan representative. "The Council has searched for such technology for centuries." Professor Diana Wilson joined Reed at the front of the chamber. "Because you were looking in the wrong direction. The Council focused on preserving biological bodies indefinitely. We realized the true path was transferring consciousness itself. Earth offers this technology freely to all members of the cooperative," Walker added. "We believe advancements should benefit everyone, not just the powerful few." 7 former Council races immediately pledged to join the cooperative. They had been hesitant before, fearing retaliation from their former masters. But this technology offered true independence from the Council's control. Meanwhile, on what remained of the Council homeworld, High Councilor Mex faced growing rebellion. His private supplies of Vitalis were running low, and without Earth as a resource, his options were limited. "We have no choice," he told his remaining loyal followers. "We must negotiate with this cooperative." Director Marcus Lang received the Council's request for talks with cool professionalism. "Earth is willing to discuss terms," he informed Mex. "But understand that the old ways are finished. The cooperative will not permit any world to be exploited as happened in the past." Mex's face showed defeat. "What are your terms?" "Justice," Lang replied simply. "Those responsible for the exploitation of 17 worlds will face consequences. After that, your people are welcome to join the cooperative as equals, not rulers." As news spread of the Council's capitulation, celebrations erupted across formerly subjugated worlds. Species that had lived under Council domination for generations suddenly found themselves free. On Earth, Admiral Walker addressed the United Nations. Humanity's greatest achievement wasn't developing advanced technology in secret. It was choosing to use that technology to build rather than destroy, to unite rather than conquer. Earth's philosophy of advancement without exploitation spread rapidly across the stars. The new galactic cooperative grew stronger each day, founded on principles of mutual respect and shared progress. The fierce retaliation that had stunned the Galactic Council wasn't just Earth's military response. It was a complete rejection of the Council's way of thinking, replaced with something far more powerful: cooperation. 10 years passed since the day alien ships appeared in Earth's skies. The galaxy had changed beyond recognition. Where once the Galactic Council ruled through fear and domination, the Galactic Cooperative now fostered peace and shared progress across hundreds of worlds. On a bright spring morning, thousands gathered in the Great Hall on Earth for a historic ceremony. Representatives from over 100 species filled the massive chamber, their diverse forms creating a living tapestry of galactic life. Admiral James Walker, now in his 70s with gray hair and deep smile lines, walked slowly to the center stage. Though he could have used the consciousness transfer technology to move to a younger body, he had chosen to age naturally, at least for now. 10 years ago, Walker began, his voice still strong. Earth faced a choice: submit to conquest or fight back. We chose a third path: to change the very nature of galactic civilization. The crowd applauded as images appeared on massive screens showing the transformation of once exploited worlds. Planets that had been stripped of resources now flourished again. Species that had been enslaved now governed themselves. Commander Alex Torres, who had led Earth's space fleet during the crisis, now directed the cooperative's exploration initiative. Her ships sought out developing civilizations not to conquer them, but to protect them from exploitation. Last month, Torres announced, stepping up beside Walker, "We discovered evidence of Council observation posts around 12 developing worlds. These posts have been dismantled, and those worlds are now under cooperative protection." In the front row sat Professor Diana Wilson, whose discoveries about the Council's true motives had helped turn the tide of galactic opinion. Beside her was a data crystal containing the complete history of the Council's exploitation, preserved as a reminder of what happens when advancement comes without compassion. "The greatest weapon Earth possessed was never our shields or our ships," Walker continued. "It was our understanding that true civilization cannot be built on the suffering of others. That lesson has now spread across the stars." From the back of the hall came former High Counselor Mex, now simply a representative of his homeworld. The Council's collapse had been complete, its power structure dismantled. After facing justice for his crimes, Mex had dedicated his remaining years to helping repair the damage the Council had caused. "I once believed power was measured by what you could take from others," Mex said, joining Walker on stage. "Earth taught us that true power comes from what you can build together." Director Marcus Lang stepped forward with a large document, the Galactic Charter of Rights. Over the past decade, it had been crafted with input from every member world, establishing protections for all sentient beings regardless of technological development. "Today, we finalize this charter," Lang announced, "with the last world formerly under Council control now joining our cooperative." One by one, representatives came forward to place their hands, appendages, or sensing organs on the document, formally recognizing its authority. Earth, despite its central role in creating the new galactic order, held the same single vote as all other worlds. Captain Lisa Reed, now Admiral Reed, watched from beside the Earth contingent. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out this way?" she asked Walker quietly. Walker shook his head. "When we built our first secret ships 40 years ago, we only hoped to protect Earth. But this," he gestured at the diverse gathering, "this is beyond anything we dreamed." As the ceremony concluded, a young alien child approached Walker with a small gift, a crystal containing images of her homeworld before and after joining the cooperative. Once nearly stripped bare by Council mining, the planet now thrived again. "My grandmother tells stories of the dark days," the child said, "and how the humans showed us a different way." Walker accepted the gift with a smile. Earth's fierce retaliation against the Galactic Council had not been through superior weapons or conquering armies. It had been through demonstrating that advancement without empathy was no advancement at all. The legacy of Earth's stand against the Council would echo through the galaxy for generations to come, not as a story of war, but as the moment when the stars finally learned to shine for everyone.